Hearty welcome, dear Simon, for our newest episode of Ask the Founder. Today we have something very simple, but as well very important for some of the users, for all the buyers of some packages. It's about the explanation of the packages today. For example, the utility room. If I buy a package with 100 square or cubic meters, what can I do with it? How much space can I actually use? Is it only about 100 or is it more?
Thank you for the question. Very important one and a very exciting one, in fact. So we have put a lot of work and time over the last years into creating, let's say, the mathematical equation based on golden geometry and Feng Shui. So Feng Shui, and some say in German, but it's actually Feng Shui in Chinese. Proportions and how basically the entire Future Multiverse is built. For example, if you buy 100 square meters of economic space, first of all, it's not square meters, it's actually cubic meters, more importantly. So actually every land plot, every economic square meter, and that's why it's cubic, on our blockchain, stakeable, to actually earn rewards, to actually dig the coin out of the ground, basically, which is basically embedded into the 1 meter down into the earth.
That's how why you can it's cubic. It,
yes. Like a real world asset you have in the ground, or coin basically that is integrated into the ground of the square meter. So it's a cubic meter. And if you buy, for example, 100 cubic meters of economic space, then the total size, so imagine you want to choose an exhibition booth, for example, or let's say an exhibition space of 100 square meters or 100 cubic meters, then the total size of that exhibition booth or space or shop is roughly 300 square meters, cubic meters. The economic space, the proportion of the economic space is roughly 1/3. And 2/3 is actually the, let's say, space where you move around, or basically where you move in between, objects, or let's say tables and chairs and presentation desks or whatsoever is there, based on Feng Shui and on golden geometry. That's the ratio that is, let's say, also where you feel well in an environment or in a room, that there's not too many things in the room, basically. And also there will be a limit on how many people can be in a space. So actually the owner of a space can decide how many people is the maximum limit, based on a certain, let's say, suggestion that we will give based on the square meters they have, so that when somebody enters the room, that it's not, they not feel, let's say, overwhelmed. It feels good and it feels natural, even if they are not aware of it. And so basically, it's 1/3 of the total space that people are buying is roughly economic space, and then this economic space they can use in different ways. They can present basically their products, their services, their assets, and whatsoever. For example, also a building. If you have, for example, a land plot that is 1,000 square meters of economic space, cubic meters, then, for example, the ratio will be, so there's different ways of how it can be done. It could be done in, for example, if you have the total land plot, 1,000 square meters, then obviously you cannot fit, based on this ratio, the 1,000 cubic meters on the ground floor, because 2/3 is moving navigation space, 1/3 is economic space. But then, for example, there's different ways of how it can be built. We can customize all of that for every client. So we have a fully scalable in-house Future Studios design production powerhouse basically now.
So there is support for everyone who is looking for his right space. If he uses our AI to ask just, okay, I have 100 square meters or 1,000 square meters, then you get shown the possible spaces.
And also on the design packages, which will be accessible through the back office of every user, they will be shown different types of examples for different, let's say, sizes, different scales, different types of environments, so from exhibition booths to shops and stores to entire buildings to, let's say, entire exhibitions to showrooms to entire smart cities or even entire nations. So different scales of different projects based on real projects we already built. So not just, let's say, AI images on what something could look like, but actually real projects we already executed, which is also important, just to give that note. And but to finish the other example, so for example, if you have a land plot, total size is 1,000 square meters, and you would choose to say, oh, I want to have, let's say, my building should take more space of the entire environment. It's also possible. Somebody, for example, says, I want to build an entire mall, for example, and I would like to have 2/3 of the entire space to be the mall, and then 1/3 would be enough for, let's say, the space around it. If somebody says he wants to do that, then it's fine as well. But then still, the same ratio applies inside of that mall on, let's say, the amount of economic space per level, basically. So if you have 1,000 square meters of total land plot and 2/3 of the entire land plot would be a building, and that would be roughly 666 square meters.
0.66.
And
Yes.
and then basically you have inside that building, you could say 1/3 of the floor should be economic space, and then 2/3 should be movable space. Then it's very obvious that you would have to move inside this building to several different floors inside the building. Because
Okay.
you obviously, if you have 1,000 square meters of economic space, it's only apart from the building, which is only apart from the entire land plot. Then obviously you have to, let's say, build into several layers, and that's possible. And we are showing several different examples of how it can be done. So it will be very easy to use, and in fact, in a very exciting way. So somebody who purchased a certain amount of economic space, they will be presented many different options and ways of how they can for themselves, or also, of course, if an owner of this land plot wants to lease it out to a company or to whoever, then also to them, we're offering many different examples of how they can utilize it. Yeah, so that's very
Wonderful.
easy to use. Yeah, so that's not overwhelming. And also, if somebody's looking for, I'll just give that example. If somebody is utilizing AI and they're using our search engine and they say, please show me the best priced land plot with, for example, 1,000 square meters or cubic meters of economic space, then the AI will automatically know which is right now the best priced land plot, by the way. So the AI is also trained on every listing on the marketplace and launched by fully automatic. So it will know all the listings and what the best prices are, etc. at any time.
Cool.
And then basically it navigates you there. Then you can see directly what are the proportions. So you will automatically see, what's the name of the land plot, what is the name of the industry, what's the code name of the land plot, what's the total size, and what's the economic space in it. Will be prepared for every user in a very simple way and usable way, so it doesn't get overwhelmed. But not everybody has to understand the full math of it. If they want to understand it, of course, the information is there also for everybody who's interested in it, which is very exciting as well. And on the other side, others can just sit into the car and use it and drive.
So we are here for supporting. That's never the problem. We have the AI you can ask to. And
Yes.
in the end, just to have it in your head, if you have a space of 100 square meters within your package, you can at all use 300 square meters. That's something to have easier in your head. And all the rest will be done by our designers and our supporters. Okay.
Correct.
Thank you very much, dear
Thank you so much for the
Simon.
question.
Thanks for this
Brilliant.
episode, and all the others outside. Just keep in touch to our YouTube channel. Keep in touch to our Ask the Founder episodes. And yes, thanks for today. Thanks, Simon, and
Thank
bye
you so
bye.
much.